Hi everybody! Thanks to everybody that's returning after watching the first two videos, and hi to anybody that's new. So I am making over my second doll's house. My first one I took back in time to the Tudor era, and this one is going to be for the modern era. So my main task today was to take off all of the wallpaper and finish removing the foam from where I'd taken away the carpets. And I wanted to be at a point where I had everything painted white so that I could then add some pillars in the art gallery space at the bottom. And yeah, I'm nowhere near that point. I didn't expect that taking off the wallpaper would take quite this long. With my cat keeping me company, I kept going with taking off the wallpaper for hours and hours and hours. One really nice little thing as I was taking it off was that I revealed some notes from the person who's made this doll's house. I always love finding little things like that because it just shows the work that's gone into the making of the doll's house. By the way, in this video you can see that I'm using my scrapey tool, whose name I can't remember. What is that tool called? So I'm using it to get the wallpaper off, but please don't copy any of my techniques because they may be dangerous. I don't know what the safest ways to do this are. I definitely am not filming this as a tutorial. It's just a little diary entry to show you what I've been doing. So please don't copy me. As you can see, I accidentally started to take my nail varnish off because I was peeling so much wallpaper off, and this bit of wood splintered as well. So this is certainly not a job for children to do, and yeah, please don't copy my methods. I will also be working with a Stanley knife. Again, please don't copy me because I don't know the safest way to use it. Yeah, I'm very clumsy, and this definitely is not a tutorial. I decided to take those little pieces of wood off from above the windows because I don't plan on having curtains up anymore. If I do have anything, it'll probably be blinds. I have kept those pieces of wood in case I choose to put them up again. But for now, it was time to start working on a new ceiling for the art gallery space. In my last video about this doll's house, I removed the dividing wall on the ground floor, but it was holding up all of the rooms above it, and it left the ceiling looking quite rough, which is why I needed to add this plywood for some strength and also to make the ceiling look a lot neater. Obviously, like I said before, please don't copy my technique when I use the Stanley knife in a second, because I don't know the safest way to use it. So I cut out a rectangle after measuring this area, but I measured incorrectly because I hadn't realised that there are two pieces of wood going down the side of the doll's house that are extended out slightly from the walls. So what I needed to do was just measure up these bits here and cut two little tabs out of my plywood. This plywood I've had for a long time. I bought several sheets of it. Someone was selling them online, and I think I bought them for £1 per sheet, and they were about 4 foot by 3 foot, so they were really big pieces. This is my very last piece because I used so much of this plywood on my Tudor doll's house, and I'd also used it to make some doors in one of the rooms in my full-sized house. So, as you can see, it did not just take me one attempt to get the size right. I think this is the third attempt, or maybe the fourth. But once it did fit, it fit really nicely. I checked that the full doll's house door could shut, and I sanded to make sure that it was nice and smooth. I did add a little bit of glue, although the ceiling did seem to be holding itself up quite well because of how well it was fitting. I've pretty much run out of my glue, so I need to buy some more. But as you can see, I popped the new ceiling back into place, and I then used some pegs just to hold it nice and securely whilst the glue dried. I also used my ruler just to push the back of the ceiling there whilst it was drying so that it stuck nicely to the floors above it. Now, there is still a little hole in the floor here, but I am going to be putting a little kitchen, I think, around that area, so I don't need to worry too much. But this hole in this ceiling does need filling. So again, I used my plywood, sanded it down, I added a little bit of glue, and then it fit nice and securely. Before I paint the doll's house, I probably will use some filler around the edges to make sure that it's nice and smooth. So, this is where I'm up to, and it is not as far as I'd hoped I would be. But I do have a nice, smooth ceiling now, and I've filled the hole in the other ceiling. I'm still not quite sure what I'm going to do with the middle floor and the top floor or the loft space, but what I'm going to do now is concentrate on painting all of this white so that it's like a blank canvas, and then I'm going to work on the flooring of the gallery space and work on adding the pillars for strength. So that'll be the next few videos. Thank you so much to everybody that watched my last video, which was where I made a new little friend for Spooky the Ghost in my Tudor doll's house. If you've not watched it yet, I'll pop a link in the description for you. And I will be uploading another video for Friday, which will be an arty one, talking about a painting that I've done recently. So thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day.